Hey everybody, I just wanted to put out a video real quick to let you guys know what's been going on. My area of focus lately has been to do a lot of research, and so I haven't been producing as many videos lately. I'll be back soon enough, but right now I'm digging into a level of abstraction that requires a lot of research and a lot of reading, and so I think I'm going to be doing that for a little bit, and then I'll be coming back to check emails and stuff like that, but I kind of wanted to let you guys know where I was. As far as if you're new to this channel and you're interested, I would suggest taking a look at the Electric Sun, the Important Starter videos, and the Collective Unconscious. What you're going to find on this channel is that there have been some discoveries that have been made in cathedrals that the Gnostics put into these cathedrals to kind of give us an understanding. It's a level of abstraction that is hard to understand, but it is something surrounding the idea that the universe is very similar to man himself. There's also the concept that Carl Jung brought us from the Collective Unconscious, the understanding that these primordial images come through religious art, and what you'll actually see in these cathedrals that there's infrared depictions of the Orion Nebula. For whatever reason, it stems back to this area, for all the way back to the seed of what we call creation. The Mayans knew this, the Egyptians knew this, and it's all over the cathedrals as well. What I'm trying to do right now with my research is trying to dig into the abstraction to understand the structure of kind of what's going on. You can get to a certain point, and then after that certain point, right where you get to the center of the Orion Nebula, the trapezium, beyond that you have the invisible. You have the area which is spirit, and spirit, which is the invisible, manifests itself into the universe and creates almost a mirror image of itself, and then it kind of expands from there. The point that we're concerned with regarding our Earth, our man, and everything like this is the area that it's pointing to. It's pointing to the Orion Nebula, and specifically it's pointing to the Orion Nebula trapezium. And with inside that trapezium, it's pointing to something that is being labeled various things, from IHS, which means Christ or Jesus. It's a monogram of Jesus. Or we also see Yahweh, the four-letter tetragrammaton. We see other labels that it's pointing to the same area. And then we also see many images of the nebula inside these cathedrals, where in the very center of the Orion Nebula trapezium we see the dove, which is the symbol for spirit. And it gives us the sense that spirit manifests from the center of this area and then expands out into creation. Spirit is invisible, so it actually casts a shadow of itself into matter, if we take a look at the Gnostics. And then it creates an image or a reflection of itself, which would be the nebula, which is an image of mind or wisdom or man. This is what Sophia was in the Gnostics. But beyond this whole thing where we actually can see, there becomes a level of abstraction. It's above Kether on the Tree of Life. It becomes the area of spirit, the Ein Sof R, the Ein Sof and the Ein. It becomes something that it becomes so abstract that it requires a lot of research to kind of get your mind wrapped around what it's dealing with. And these are things that I cannot do very easily without a lot of research. So I've got the area that it's pointing to. It's pointing us, all of us, from these cathedrals all the way back into ancient Egypt. It's pointing us to the center of the Orion Nebula. The Mayans knew about this, the Egyptians knew about it, and we even see it in Ellen G. White's writings in the Seventh-day Adventist Church. We also see it in all these cathedrals, and so it's pointing us to the same thing. The Mayans pointed to it as the area of the seated creation, the area of the three hearthstones of creation. And in the very center, they called the smoke that rises from the very center, which is the Orion Nebula, the area which is the seat of creation. So this is what my research has been entailing right now. This is what I'm doing right now. I highly suggest that if you are new to the channel and you're interested, you're going to see these playlists right here. This one right here, The Real Sun, was actually backed by a Knights Templar, Timothy Hogan, which he says is great philosophy, and he's excited to see. And what you're going to see in all of these ancient diagrams that Athanasius Kircher gave us, and these alchemical drawings, Bohm and people like this, they have learned, as well as I, is that communicating in things in words, in parables, you lose a certain level of the esoteric, because words are typically written in parables because they're written based on visions. And so you lose this level of closeness to understanding of what's really going on. So what they did was they created these alchemical drawings. They showed alchemical drawings that showed the tree of life, or they show the triangle with the eye in the center of it, and it has nothing to do with this fabricated imaginary Illuminati that people like Christopher Lord on the Truth Heresy channel are pushing, as well as his wacky, crazy etymology that he's never backed up or anything. These types of people who have attacked my channel, by the way, I really want to thank them, because what they've done is help me push harder and harder into the bullshit that we see all over the internet. People like the Occult Science 101, these types of people, I'm above and beyond all that stuff now, because these guys are just full of shit. And there's so much shit on the internet, with the Galactic Federation, to the religious extremism that we see on all sides of the religious spectrum, to the scientific materialism, to it's just so much bullshit everywhere, that the esoteric, and the word esoteric and occult becomes meaningful in a sense that it's not what some small group of secret society people have tried to hide from other people. What it is it is a certain level that can only be understood if you dig into it yourself. And what you find is that, your religious extremist people, like and this is Christians including, because from what I see on the internet, and my experience on the internet, they're the ones that are always in your face about everything. Of course, this does not exclude the Islamic extremists, the Jewish extremists, anybody you can think of extremists. What's their problem is they haven't looked beyond their own writings, because if they do, they're called heretics, or they're called sacrilegious, or blasphemous, or whatever. If they use their actual minds and they want to look beyond what their actual teachings are by their church or what have you, then they're called heretics. What I have learned is that in the occult philosophy, the esoteric philosophy, the theosophists are really good at, is they take all of these things and they show them, and they show the similar truths that they all present. That's the only way you're going to get down to the bottom of the truth on all this stuff. It also helps you weed out all the other bullshit, like this etymology that you see from Truth Heresy or Christopher Lord and stuff like that. You don't see any of that kind of stuff in these ancient teachings. And when you do see it, it sure is in English. It is things that you see in Hebrew, that you see in Sanskrit and these other ancient languages. It has nothing to do with English, because English has changed over 1,000 times in the last 500 years. So these homophones that you see now are not necessarily a homophone 200 years ago. And so what they do is they take syllables and they create these and fabricate these words to dazzle people out there, and they show no scientific etymology to back any of this kind of stuff up. Meanwhile, they're telling you, don't pay attention to the etymology out there that's been published, because all these people worship the bull of El or all this other kind of crap. Okay. But anyway, these people are very helpful in the sense that they provide the dark where we need to be able to see this kind of stuff so that we can find the light. Another category of people that you can put into this is this Galactic Federation. Everything is rainbows and puppy dogs, those kinds of people. And then you have the religious extremism, and then you have the scientific materialism, and all of these guys play a part. And when you get on YouTube and you start publishing videos and you start doing research, the good student will actually learn from all these people, just like I've learned from Christopher Lord or Truth Heresy just how much of an idiot or a jackass he is. Just like I've learned from Occult Science 101, this guy Billy, just how much of a jackass he is, and just how much I've learned religious extremism is bullshit, and so is the scientific materialism. It's all bullshit. And in the center of all of that, you have the real esoteric occult understanding of things, the hidden things, but not hidden because people have hidden them from you. It's hidden because it requires a certain level of research, dedication, and understanding in order to be able to look at everything you can possibly see and come to the real understanding of things. That is what the word esoteric or the occult means. It means hidden, but it doesn't mean that it's hidden on purpose. And the funny thing is even if you come out and tell these people what it actually means, they'll deny it just simply because they're not ready to be unplugged yet. So it doesn't matter even if you show them what this stuff really means. It's been beaten into their head for so long that things mean a certain way because, say, the church interpreted it for them or what have you, that this is just the way that they believe. And they're not going to believe anything else because they're afraid to believe anything else. They're afraid to look into anything else. They're afraid to see the similarities that may exist between one thing and another. And science, the materialists, are just as scared of religion as religion is scared of each other, because they're not willing to admit that there may be something behind this whole random matter and things that you can actually see and touch and feel. They don't believe that there may be some kind of a consciousness tied to things, or maybe some kind of an order beyond what they believe to be tied to things, because as soon as they believe that, then they have to accept the fact that there's some religious connotation with this, and they can't have that, so they have to remain their scientific, materialistic side. But in the center of all of that, what we have is the old teachings, the esoteric, the occult, that go all the way back to ancient Egypt, the Hermetic philosophy that we see science constantly confirming all the time, even all the way up to the various Hermetic axioms and the rules, like we see the understanding of vibration, that everything moves and everything vibrates, which science discovered in the 1960s and 1970s and called it string theory, but yet it's existed all the way back into ancient Egypt as Hermetic philosophy. So we see these types of things being confirmed all the time, but science will not address them because they're too arrogant, and they can't have anything being beyond just the random, materialistic, what we can see, what we can feel science. So I just want to let you guys know what I've been doing, and that I'll be back soon enough, but that I'm taking my research into an area that's going to require some time. It's going to require some in-depth research and a lot of reading. And I'll be bringing some information back to you guys soon enough. And keep an eye out. I am in the middle of writing my book, and it's going to take quite some time because there's so much information in it. But I've had a lot of people ask about it, and a lot of people that want me to write a book just because there's simply so much information, and it's probably going to require more than one book in order to get into all the details by the time I'm finished. So keep your eye out for that, and you guys take care, and I'll talk to you soon.